It's time to play some stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Play Some Stuff for World of Warcraft Legion. Today's video is going to be a big-ass deal. Why? Because we are answering a big-ass question, while Mr. Goodmane has a big-ass polearm on his back. And I'm making a big-ass joke out of whatever. By the way, we also have a big-ass UI with a big-ass damage meter. And the word of the day is big-ass. Be sure to get plenty of exercise so you don't end up with a big ass. Now, before big ass fans sues me or something... Yes. So, people may make a big ass deal out of the fact that it looks like I kinda went backwards here. This is the Warlords of Draenor Garrison. What the hell is my problem? This is Legion now. This should all be just a bad memory. But actually, I'm finding some uses for the Garrison post-Legion. And we'll get into some of that. Some of that is going to be today with this big-ass video answering the big-ass question about a big-ass feature of World of Warcraft Legion. So first, the big-ass polearm. The reason why, this is actually what I wound up transmogging the artifact weapon to. As evidenced by, here's the skill for the holy hammer. Shing, 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 shing. Don't tell Lindy Beige. Okay, you can shut up now. Tons of overhealing to start the day. Oh, joy. So, basically what happened was I transmogged the artifact weapon. Some people will get mad at me just for doing that. I transmogged the artifact weapon to a huge-ass, excuse me, wrong connotation there, big-ass sword. But the big-ass hammer actually has the animations of a big-ass polearm, so it looked weird when the guy was assuming his combat stance, because he held the sword with his arm off the edge of the hilt like it was a big-ass hammer or a big-ass polearm. But the big-ass hammer, one of the animations when you attack is to ram the hammer forward like you're using a big-ass polearm. Look at how far apart the guy's arms are. Now, the sword would stop right about here, so it would look like he was kind of, whatever you want to call it. I still don't get the frown thing. Anyways, so we're going to answer, so we're making a big-ass deal out of something that's probably not a big-ass thing worth making a big-ass deal about. Yes. So, what I wound up doing was, I wound up just going with a polearm instead. Now, here's something worth noting. Notice the Dungeoneer's training dummy is level 102. The scaling for the mobs to match your level has been retroactively applied to the training dummies in the Garrison. Which means one of the uses for the Garrison post-Legion is to get away from everybody and do some DPS and rotation testing. Because other than splash damage to the tank dummy, you basically can just hammer away at this thing. So all conditions equal, assuming, besides the splash damage going to the tank dummy because they're a little too close, at least you can DPS away and test rotations without some elite DPS kidzo or whatever coming over and stealing the show. If I were doing this in the order hall, I might get some PvP that's like, oh yeah? You can do that much? Look at my elite skills. So, here's what we're going to do. One of the new features of WoW Legion is that healers can actually join the fights. I have all the green weapons that are item level 740, so we're going to unequip all the artifact weapons. What I want to know is, with some basic rotations, what kind of DPS difference are we looking at between Retribution, Holy, and Protection? Because tanks and healers are supposed to be closer to... They're supposed to be closer to damage dealers if you're a hybrid spec like this. So you don't take as much of a penalty and it isn't so painful to level as a healer and stuff. I'm curious just how close those numbers are, hence the big ass damage meter. We're not going to stop saying big ass tonight, are we? No, we are not. So we're going to start out in Holy Spec with the big-ass mana pool. But let's downgrade our weapon from the artifact to the Mace of the Warhammer of the Silver Hand. Whatever. Item level 740, all other gear being the same. This one is actually transmogged into a sword and can illustrate the differences here. Look at combat stance and where his hands are relative to where they would be. Yeah, that's actually holding it like a proper two-hander, as opposed to what I had with the polearm animations for the mace. When that was a sword, his arm was still down here somewhere and it looked stupid. So, polearm it is, but we're going to keep the green weapon from the Order Hall as transmog to a sword. There's the artifact unequipped. This is the interesting part because I think it was Guild Wars 2 or someone that had weapons that were all you could swap out to have similar gear with the same item level of weapon and then go test damage rotations and things like that. On your mark, get set, go. Shakaden power! Whoops. There we go. The key with DPSing as Holy. Judgment increases the damage of Holy Shock and Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike cuts the cooldown of Holy Shock. So really what you should do is do Judgment, Holy Shock, Crusader Strike, as soon... and things like that. We're hovering... let's get Consecration into the mix. Boom, boom, boom. I've already seen 6 digits as Holy. Yeehaw! Just don't hit Light of Dawn by mistake. I just did that backwards. Alright, so about 30,000 DPS. You're hitting the 30,000 mark when the stars align. At level 102. Retribution power! Only a 1-point item level difference. 715 with the Holy Gear, 714 with Strength Gear. Let's not forget Protection is letting us swap out the weapons. And Great Sword of the Silver Hand, item level 740. So, again, the rotation for Retribution is, I swung a sword again, I swung a sword again. Arms Warrior ++, let's do this. We'll take the splash damage as a freebie. And only use the Super Strike for Divine Purpose when it pops, because otherwise it's not really worth it with the Holy Power. 31 grand, 32 grand, 33 grand, but not that much further ahead of Holy. 32 to 33. We haven't gotten any Super Strikes here, because Divine Purpose isn't proccing. I thought that Blizzard wanted to dump the RNG from this spec back in Lich King. The thing is, you want to judge before Templar's verdict. So I'm actually doing it backwards. Alright, now let's try it. Boom. But still only 32,000 DPS. Ah! Boom, big strike, the one that heals you. So 33, maybe if we know what we're doing, we can hit 34, but old habits die hard. Boom, boom, even with all those procs, we're hitting, okay, 36 now. Yay for random numbers, getting towards 38,000, with a couple of lucky procs, and then it starts to drop. Yay for RNG. Okay, we broke 40,000. So you can get high damage with a ramp up after a while. Now let's reset this, get into the mix with Greater Blessing of Might. This is with the one and only offensive Greater Blessing that has a chance, 10%, to give you some additional damage as Holy. Should be easier to break 40k, but notice, we had to get a lot of lucky crits and a lot of lucky procs to break the 40k mark. Let's do this again. I swung a sword. I swung a sword again. I swung a sword. I swung a sword again. That one worked out really well. Now we're instantly back up to 40. Now we're seeing some payoff with Retribution versus this 102 dummy. Or it could be the splash damage starting to add up. Now we're getting back into the... yeah, our luck has run out. Now we're into the mid-30s. High 30s. Just gotta keep everything up. Okay, maybe something got buffed. Or maybe it's just the power you gain as you level up. This would be a good baseline to check versus level 110. There we go. Use the big strike to get into the high 30s solidly. Okay, so if you know what you're doing at this level, you can break 40k. Otherwise, mid to high 30s. Tankadin! And everything has the basic model, because this stuff I don't even use. It's not even transmogged. I just bought it for DPS testing. And of course, the Truth Guard special ability Eye of Tyr is darkened out because we can't use it because it's not equipped. So this gets us to 714, same as Retribution. So, what kind of damage are we looking at? Although I imagine these numbers will be biased way up due to splash damage. Alright, let's go. Retribution Aura is going to be completely useless. Just like before, there's no offensive bonus to Judgment. It just reduces the cooldown on Shield of the Righteous. Alright, remember, we were at 30 thou with Holy. We could, if we were lucky, hit 40 thou with Ret. I predict mid to high 30s, if not right behind Retribution. Let's roll. Whoops. We don't need Light of the Protector. Oh, mid 30s, high 30s. Hey, that procced. Look at that. 40s, easily high 30s, 40s. When Blizzard said they wanted to buff tank damage, they meant it. I don't think active mitigation is as much of a thing as it used. Look at this, 42,000. I'm having an easier time cracking 40,000 DPS as the so-called tank spec. Hence my preference for Sword and Board. If you start seeing a dungeon group where the so-called DPS is a Tankadin, this is why. Wow. It was easier to hit 40, and that's without greater blessings. It was easier to hit 40,000 DPS as protection, the tank spec. Okay, let's give Holy one more shot here. The last big-ass question that I want to look at tonight. Give me my artifact weapon back. Go back to polearm mode. No, I don't want to do a battleground. Assume the same position. Start with Consecrate if need be. Actually, let's not start. Let's do left-click to start. Let's not start the damage until we're ready to go here. Oh, pfft. So much for that idea. Boom. There's something that's not hitting that side dummy. Well, it's not Light of Dawn, that's for sure. 25, 26. Judgment does not... Nope. We can hit the 30s if we know what we're doing. 32. Low 30s. Eventually we hit mid 30s. Come on, I want to hit solidly mid 30s. So let's do Artifact, Weapon, and the random procs. Old school Retribution coming right up. As soon as it clears. It's cleared. Let's do Divine Purpose for this. Oh, we gotta wait for Holy Prism to finish up. This is increases your... Ooh, no, that's an instant. That's a healing type thing anyways. Nothing else looks like it boosts offensive abilities here except maybe Light's Hammer, which gives you yet another button to press. But you can only press it once every minute. Okay, last thing, we're going to watch for lucky procs of Holy Shock. Going for mid-30s. Let's do this. There we go. That's what it takes. Lucky procs to hit 40,000 DPS. And a mod that tells you when your free Holy Shocks are up. And the Artifact Weapon, and splash damage. Finally, we closed the gap. Just we need the random number generator to give us, boom, 40,000, 42. So yes, this is the skill thing too. If you watch for procs. What else is going? Oh, there's something else too. There's trinkets procking. There we go. We've closed the gap with Retribution as Holy. So the thing to do is to get power auras or something that sounds an alarm. Hey, time to cast Holy Shock again. I used to do that with Holy Power on Retribution back in the day. So it was splash damage. It was splash damage. It was throwing off the numbers. Good to know. So there you go. We've cracked 40,000 DPS on those dummies on all 3 Paladin specs. There's your closed gap for you. Although we did sort of kind of cheat. Since we are bringing the artifact weapons into the mix, I don't have the Retribution one just yet. But I think what I'm going to try doing, cheesing the Retribution quest as Holy with the Holy artifact. Ooh, now we've got the tier. We have the Truth Guard in the mix here. Let's try this again with the Truth Guard. Actually, since we know that Consecration needs to hit the other dummy, this is the other spec that has it. With the Truth Guard. Except this time, oh, Avenger's Shield is going behind me. Very easily past 40,000 DPS. Boom, boom, boom. Mid-40s almost. Protribution, baby. And I haven't even brought in the talent yet that lets Avenger's Shield only hit one target. Not so sure I want that. 44,000. Mid-40s. Protection is an awesome spec. That's why I cheesed the artifact quest with it. And quite frankly, I welcome a high damage tank. I don't like having to feel like a sissy in fights because I'm the tank. Well, since we're having fun with artifact weapons here, actually, not even artifact weapons. Let's go Retribution and make it so, let's see if the swinging hammers have as much reach as Consecration. I think we're going to lose the judgment damage, though. So we got everything we normally wear for... Where? What are we, getting dressed? Clear the meters. One last test with I keep saying one last test, but this time I'm going to do a swing a sword again. Let's see Consecration. Ah, Judgment goes backwards too, and the hammers are hitting the tank dummy. And I used the wrong strike. Alright, let's do this. So this is where we want to get the maximum splash damage. Come on, we can hit 40 if we're lucky. If we're lucky. Boom! Come on, lucky crits, lucky crits. What is this, the casino? Come on, Divine Purpose, let's see some procs. And I blew it again. Come on, I want to get this right. Come on, I at least want to get one Divine Purpose correct here. High 30s. You know what? Ret sucks. It just does.
Epic fail.
This is the old frustration with Retribution. Too much RNG. If you think this is bad, you should have tried Seal of Command back in the day. There! Woohoo! But it didn't crit. And we didn't break 40,000 DPS. Whereas it takes next to no effort to break that as a tank because Paladin tanks have been porcupines for how long now? Whatever. So there you go. I haven't tried it with the Ashbringer yet because I don't have it, but I'm probably going to... What the? Is that... This is Prot. Truth Guard, please. Two-piece artifacts tend to glitch sometimes. But there you go. Even if you're not a DPS... it's worth it to quest as the other specs. Be a goody two-shoe out in the open world as the other specs. And in my case, play the game like it's sorta Guild Wars 2 as the other specs. And I will most certainly continue leveling as a tank and switch to Holy when I feel like taking a break. Bye, Big Ass Damage Meter. Welcome to Big Ass, reminder of the battle days of Warlords of Draenor, aka the Garrison. And it's time for me to say a big ass good night and end this big ass video. Thanks for watching, you big ass fans that'll actually watch. Big ass fans of this channel that actually will watch my gaming videos. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Okay, before I rip off Tigger here, let's go back to that fire that you still can't use to cook stuff with. Come on, not even a hot dog barbecue. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by, and game on.